Hi, I'm Jaiya, New World Sex Educator, creator of the art of female self-pleasuring. I'm a somatic sexologist, and this is day number 57 of my 101 days of self-pleasure. Glorious, 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 glorious. I decided to do a little experiment, as most of my days are experiments, and actually do my self-pleasure session before I had sex. My partner and I had time off this afternoon. We both scheduled so that we could have a little rendezvous. I knew that it was coming, so I thought, well, you hear about guys masturbating before sex where they may ejaculate in order to last longer or so that it's not such a need or a desire. And so I thought, I wonder how this is different in my female body if I masturbate beforehand. Will I lose my libido? Will I lose my arousal? What will happen? Well, we never know what's going to happen. And so I did my clitoral stimulation to orgasm. And I also wonder what's different if I didn't have an orgasm versus if I didn't have an orgasm versus having an orgasm. And so I did have an orgasm, and just noticing that even though I had an orgasm, it actually sort of increased my libido. And maybe it might have been too, knowing that my partner and I were going to have a little rendezvous. So we got into the love loft, and he was feeling very, very stressed. So I thought, and he was having back pain. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just do like a little massage or some kind of like healing work on him before going into any lovemaking. So just felt some trigger points in his legs, and he had a lot of emotion that he was storing in his pelvis. So I just did some holds on his hip bones and his pubic bone and his sacrum, which is the triangular bone at the base of the spine. Just holding with my presence and awareness and kind of asking him what's going on for him. And he started really having a lot of emotion, a lot of tears around the stress of being a new father and having to provide, and the feeling of disconnect from me. And it was very sweet and very emotional. So we went from that into sort of our lovemaking session, where it just became about really holding one another and connecting and having a lot of intimacy and body-to-body skin contact. And less genital focus. It was more about pleasure and less genital focus. Although we did have that, we were rolling in and out of oral sex and manual stimulation and a very little penetration. I think that if I hadn't masturbated before this, I might have felt a little frustrated, because it has been a long time since I've been with my partner and in this way. So and when I say a long time, it's probably like a week, but for me, that's a long time for connecting with my partner sexually. And so it was just sweet. It was really sweet. I didn't feel any need or desire to have my orgasm or have like a lot of friction sex or penetration sex. And instead just was able to kind of float in the emotionality of it, both of us in tears, and just that sweet, sweet, sweet loving connection. So I loved it. I recommend self-pleasuring before having sex. It's a nice prelude to going into lovemaking with your partner. That's been today. You can join me, ask me questions, or send me ideas at 101daysofselfpleasure.com. Actually, it's 101daysofpleasure.com or newworldsexeducation.com. I'll see you tomorrow.